Welcome to the CPCW monthly update for pharmacy contractors and their teams for March 2023. These updates go out on YouTube, but also on all major podcast platforms so the whole team can access them at a convenient time. If you need any details of how to look up them, have a look through our newsletters or alternatively contact us at support@cpcw.org.uk and we'll be happy to help you out. So we've got a few topics to talk about today. The first one is around pharmacy closures and particularly what to do if one's happening to you nearby. What we're encouraging contractors to do is really think about what they're going to need to make adjustments for any increments in business that may come their way. What they're going to need is it about thinking about not just the staffing, but the capacity of premises, what adjustments you might need to make. And be really clear on that. And what we're asking you to do is think about that now and give it time to think about it properly and work your way through it. Because one of the things that happened when we did the last pharmaceutical needs assessment is there was a question in there about how contractors would cope if there was a sudden increment in business. There were a number of contractors that were answered could cope, but with adjustments. And what I don't know is if the systems will have any capacity to ask you about what adjustments would you need to make and if there would be any help with that. So I think the more clearly we can articulate what that assistance is and what that adjustment would be, the better we'll be able should we be asked that question. So we are encouraging our contractors to do that, but there's not any news or any definite assistance helping, but we're hopeful that might well be something we can ask for. The other side of it is we've produced a guide for patients looking to change their nomination, particularly thinking around the multiple closures or consolidations that we've heard of in the last few months. We've produced that guide and we think it could be helpful not just for pharmacy contractors local to a closure, but for the surgeries and for anyone else who may be asked. It's designed as a patient-facing resource, and we've put it up on our website, so it's under resources and pharmacy closures if you wanted to share it locally to help other people out around you. There's a few things around the CPCS service, particularly the GP referral to CPCS. As I think we've told you before, we've done a lot of work with practices around and about our patch around increasing the access and increasing the number of surgeries that are sending referrals in. We are currently doing some work just investigating who does the care navigation training, obviously mindful of the note coming out from PSNC about the pressures that the pharmacy contract is under. The one thing I do want to say, because there are many areas of our patch where it's embedded and it's working well, the thing that often we need to think about is the locally agreed timelines. So what those locally agreed timelines are for Cheshire and Merseyside is firstly, the agreement is that pharmacies must check farm outcomes and NHS mail regularly through the day for referrals. Any referrals sent before 2:30 p.m, Monday to Friday, must be acted upon the same day by the pharmacy. And that's not be completed, but acted upon, accepted, and the patient contacted, so that started the route for that service. Any referrals sent after 2:30 that day must be reviewed by the pharmacist to identify if any action is required that day. So it's a little bit of a sort of a desktop triage exercise. So do I need to do it today or can it wait till tomorrow morning? And it might well be appropriate depending on your own capacity and your own business to be able to do it that day. And then the last point was around for any non-urgent escalations, whether that's a routine GP appointment, not the same day, or any other form of escalation, and for urgent escalations, wherever that may be, it can't be just a signposting exercise telling the patient where to do. It should be a positive hot handover back, whether that's the pharmacist telephoning the practice in the majority of cases and arranging the appointment, or using some of the other resources that are in the toolkit and in our farm outcomes module for onward referral to get them there. And then just a reminder, obviously, for our patch, we've got the GP backdoor numbers, as many have been provided to us. That's actually within the farm outcomes service. If you're struggling to find it, let us know and we'll make sure that your pharmacy can see it. I think all of them in Cheshire and Merseyside should be able to see it. And if you're on the will, you've also had that mailed out separately to you because many of those numbers don't appear on Service Finder like the other one. Next topic I wanted to talk to you around was smoking cessation. So we've been doing a lot of work with a lead at Mid Cheshire Hospitals Trust, and we've just been informed that that same lead, who we work very well with, has been appointed in a role to implement this across Cheshire and Merseyside. I think the big thing that we're seeing is if you are signed up to deliver the smoking cessation, and if you are a pharmacy under multiple ownership, just please check if the contractor or your head office has signed you up. Please check for the referrals coming through and delivering it, because obviously they're a critical time at someone leaving hospital with all of the changes and all of the stresses at that point. If they've been referred into a service and that service isn't carried out in good time, then it's often quite a vulnerable time for people to slip back out. So we're getting a little bit of feedback that there are some contractors who haven't realised the referrals are there. So please make sure you're looking either Farm Outcomes or for NHS Mail. Next topic is around sharp smarts and waste collection. Really, we've had a number of issues relating to the collection of either unwanted medicines, out-of-date stock and sharp smarts. And if you're having any issues, we put a newsletter article out last week. If you are having any issues with collections or the service, please open a service ticket with the company Anenta, who are the ones managing it. You can open a service ticket through an online account at vector.anenta.com. I'll put the link in the description below. And they are also able to operate head office accounts where one sign-in can handle multiple branches if that's the situation you're in. There's also telephone and email contact, and all of that's in our newsletter. So if you need to get hold of it, have a look at last week's, and it is in there. Next topic is around directory of service and the Easter opening hours. So you will have received a direct mail from the ICB Pharmacy Commissioning Team to your shared mailbox with any Easter bank holiday directions. So whether you've been directed or not, please make sure your opening hours on directory service is up to date via the profile manager. We're at the point where we're just about to share those with a lot of local service commissioners and other people who will host them, and about 3 weeks out now. So now is really the time to ensure your DOS profile is up to date. And of course, you now manage that through NHS Profile Manager. If there's any difficulties with that, get in touch with our office, and Sarah, our engagement lead, will be happy to help you out. And then last topic for today is around PQS, the Pharmacy Quality Scheme. So the deadline for ensuring the remaining requirements of the Gateway and Quality criteria have been met is the 31st of March. So obviously the claims have already been made, and we will have made claims based on what we know we're going to achieve by that date. That's the deadline, so please ensure all your actions are completed, and then any evidence is stored safely should you need it and should you need to prove it in future. And then the last bit around that is the MYS portal, which is used to upload the results of the antimicrobial stewardship criterion, will also close on that same day. So just make sure you're up to date and you're on there. And then the last notice was around the Folcadine recall. This has hit the news. You have had a briefing. There's some excellent resource on PS&C saying which products are affected and what messages for patients. So please just keep your eye out for that. Please get hold of that news alert, check your stock on your shelves and make sure that you take appropriate action with that. Other than that, that's it. Any questions, any queries, please drop them in the comments or get in touch with us through our support at cpcw.org.uk email box. Thank you.